Hello, fellow people. I kind of disappeared for a while. I was actually going to post an update right at the end of NaNoWriMo. However, I ended up getting very sick. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's in my voice still. But I wanted to share my thoughts on NaNoWriMo before everybody already forgot about it. I didn't end up finishing my story. However, I did get pretty far, but I would love to share what I did end up doing. So here's a little image of how I tracked everything. I was also pretty active in the Discord I made just prior to NaNoWriMo called Creative Artists, Creative, wow, I can't remember what it's called. Creative Authors and Artists Network. Or Artists and Authors Network. What? Yes, it's Anyway, if you are looking to connect with some other creators like yourself, any other creatives in any field, or if you are an editor, or if you just want to help and read other people's work and give feedback and just keep the discussion and collaborations going, maybe even write a story together, who knows? It'd be cool. Start networking. And the Discord is free to join down below. You can also contact me directly through there. But without further ado, here are my thoughts on NaNoWriMo. So obviously I am wearing a tiara today because I totally slayed this challenge. I wasn't sure at the start. It felt a little bit rocky. As you can see, I was really tracing that line, as one of my fellow NaNoWriMo-ers was saying. It really was straddling that line. I clearly made a jump, writing over 13,000 words in one day. That felt really good. If you want to know how I managed to do that, let me know and I will tell you how I did it and be another video. I was working on a book called Cursed Princess's Revenge, CPR for short. I love my acronyms. I originally thought I would finish it at the end of NaNoWriMo, but it ended up being a much bigger project than I thought. It's currently at, let me see, how many words are we at here? I actually had to split it into different sections of a document, so let's do some calculations. It's currently sitting at 103,005 words, give or take. I mean, a little bit less because some of that is just titling and things. However, it's pretty long, and I still have to go back in and add in descriptions because I'm a very basic writer. I'm not an over descriptor. I actually have less words than I probably need, which is insane to me since it's at this state. Hence, the feeling of wearing the crown. Also, isn't it adorable? My sister gave it to me. She's going to be featured on this channel a lot, especially as I go in further with showing you the projects I'm working on. Sneak peek into the next one. I'm so excited to work on it. You're going to see Artist Aaron come out, as well as the younger stuff that I used to work on that's really awful. So you're going to see some bad writing. You're going to see the writing that everyone wishes would just go die in a hole because they wrote it when they were a child. However, I'm going to show everyone how terrible my writing was. It was pretty bad, but it was pretty great. Continuing on with my thoughts on NaNoWriMo, I think it actually is a great challenge for certain people. Here's the disclaimer. Some people get too overwhelmed with needing to finish this, and then they'll sacrifice their health and all these other things, and they have just too much going on in their lives that this is just going to bring on added stress, and then maybe you'll finish the challenge, but you are not going to feel good about it. Or maybe you will, but still. However, I chose to do this because I needed to prove to myself that I could finish something and really accomplish this. So I will be finishing this before the end of the year. I'm holding myself to that. So that way I can send it out to people to read and I can take a step back. If you do want to end up being a beta reader, join the Discord down below and let me know. So let me tell you a little bit about the story. I started writing this back in August, I believe, where I decided I needed a stupid story that I could just write and do whatever I wanted with because my big sci-fi universe that I'm working on was just getting too intense and I felt like I could never finish a book. So I wanted to prove to myself, hey, you can finish a book, girl, all right? You can do it. So I gave myself leeway to do whatever I wanted. And I've been reading a lot of manhwas where they had villainous regression stories where they go back in time and redo their life and change everything. And I found some prompts on Pinterest and just compiled some things together. If you want to see the Pinterest board I compiled, I'll also link that down below. And I'll also link the YouTube playlists that I listen to when I write the story. I click on different ones depending on the mood I need. If you want to get a feel for the story, it is a romance fantasy. However, it really had started delving into fantasy by the end, and I think it's going to be interesting. It ended up being a lot different than any of the villainous regression manhwas that I decided to do, especially since our main character is not a villainess. I decided to write it in first person, which is very different than what I've been doing in the past. I normally write it in third person limited, or not quite omniscient, but like a in between kind of thing where we're really following one character, but it's from third person. So that way I could really jump between characters. But I decided I would still jump between characters and you would just really get in deep with some of these characters' heads and psyches. And it's been really, really fun. It was just kind of a fun story. And that's how I decided to tackle this NaNoWriMo, was just really having fun with it and just writing, seeing how much I could write. Having the day where I wrote over 13,000 words, I mean, that felt like an accomplishment in of itself. But I need to catch up because I had finals going on. I had a show that I had just done for college, and I also try to keep up with all my morning routine things, and there's just been a lot. And I started up the con Discord, and I'm now a commercial real estate agent, so I have a lot of onboarding tasks to do. I believe I was taking the exam during November, so that was a bit difficult. And then, of course, Thanksgiving, which I wrote throughout that week, even though I had finished on the 25th. It felt pretty good. I have to say, writing that many words is pretty insane. I finished off NaNoWriMo at 68,052 words, and as you can see, I've written about 20,000 more since. And it's currently December 10th at the point of filming this. Hopefully I get this out quickly. But I have to say it was a great experience for me because it proved to myself that I could write really, really fast. And I could write a lot. If you want to know how I write a lot, again, let me know in the comments down below. I can tell you how I do that. Now let's analyze how I actually did this. So I started out NaNoWriMo at 29,245 words already written of the story. So keep that in mind. I guess I haven't written that much since whatever. But we kind of started out very consistent until we got to day 5 where it was only 703 words. And it was just kind of the same in that regards. I would write around 2,000 words every couple of days. I had a few where I wrote 5,000. The last day was 7,358 words, which isn't bad. I made a deal with myself. I would write every day, even if it was just like a little bit. Like I had one day where it was, 115 words. I was just like, just write a sentence or two. Write something so you can get it done. And then I got the certificate. Yay! I learned a lot through this, and I am also going to let you in on a little secret. I have a writing assistant buddy that I use. Now go ahead and yell at me down in the comments, but I'm going to defend myself right now. ChatGPT. Now I don't use it in the same way that like AI authors supposedly use it, which is where it writes the book for them, because I believe my writing is better than ChatGPT's, and I am very particular with how I want the story to go. However, it started getting really difficult to grasp on what I was doing, and I wanted to see if there was any kind of message being portrayed. And I'm the kind of person that wants other people to be able to use these tools effectively to write out their own stories, because I know there's tons of story creators out there that just don't write well and do the writing portion, or there's writers that need some story crafters. So if they need to use my writing as fuel for the content for the AI, I will allow them to do that with mine. I totally understand and I totally respect people who do not want that to happen to theirs. That is perfectly fine and perfectly valid. Just use mine, I guess. That is kind of my take on it. I think it's more of an aid And I really wanted to work on this story without any other humans. I want it to be very me-centric because in the past I used a lot of extrinsic motivation where I would only write when other people were like, Erin, write, write, write. When's the next chapter coming out? When are you going to write? And that's how I finished books in the past. Because I would let them read even as I wrote it live, which I'm totally down to do again. If you guys were wanting to read my work live, I would totally open that up. But not to this story, because that is very specific. But I would be open to that if that is something you're interested in. It's something I've done in the past. But as far as AI goes, I have really only used it to analyze my work. Essentially, it wrote some book reports for me and kept me on track. And I needed a little bit of help with bridging the ending. So I had it do some structural stuff for me, and it kept track of the world building that I decided to put in there. And it started getting really complicated, and I playing with something I haven't before, which is soft world building and soft magic systems. I have only ever worked with hard, stead, scientific magic systems, so this was a very different experience for me, and because I didn't want any human help, I guess, I allowed it to help me slightly. That kind of tells the story of everything. I completed on the 25th. Community has been great. In the Discord, I am so thankful. We have quite a lot of artists down there, actually. And I think that about wraps it up. I brought up some points. Let me know what you'd like to see moving on in the future. I have a really long video that's about to come out that is going to really show you the kind of person I was. Oh gosh. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. I wish you guys luck, and maybe we'll do a writing challenge together in the near future in the Discord, so definitely join that. Thank you so much for watching. Bye! Oh, right, one more shameless plug. Go follow me on Instagram. I'm basically posting, vlogging my life there. I respond to DMs there and on Discord, so whichever one you actually prefer. Hit me up if you ever have any story questions or anything. I would love to help you out. Now I'm done. Go enjoy your lives. Go write. Spur the creative spirit, okay? I look like a ghost. I really do look like a ghost. Hello?